Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself on the panel this evening is the two Rangers Radio superstars, the Fox and the Bridge. Evening, gents.
Good evening, lads.
Oh, can I say a big good evening to you, Fox, and a big good evening to you, Oxchair, and a huge good evening to the boys in the lobby, to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio.
We're not worthy, Fox of Bridge, man. We're not worthy, Bridge.
Oh, she was.
Trending on Twitter, Trending on Twitter, the Bridge man.
You behave yourself.
Unbelievable, Fox, eh?
The man's an absolute star. Deserves all the good wishes that come his way and deserves all the compliments.
So what? Is it true that Walter Smith only got that gig because you knocked it back?
Very good. Very good. But by the way, that's a brilliant sign if you can get Walter in. And Graham Souness. Magic. Just magic.
Fox has got a prediction to make about that, ain't you, Fox?
A prediction about what, pal?
What games they'll do, Walter and
Aye.
Graham.
The old Fulham games, I can see Walter and Graham Souness. I don't think he'll be doing Ross County at Ibrox on a Wednesday night, you know.
Well, we can expect that to happen. They've got to be selective. We can expect that to happen.
Maybe he'll get the Bridge in when the Ross County.
You never know. You never know. I don't know if they could afford my language, but never know.
Be practice his autograph again, eh?
Yeah.
Right, here's a wee plan for the night. Obviously, Saturday's game is going to dictate most of the show this evening. We'll get an interview for new centre half after the game. We've also got an interview for the manager. Then we'll get a few of the boys in who are hopefully join us. We'll open up the phone lines. So I think the first thing that makes sense to start the show, listen to the manager, Fox. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Bridgeman.
Aye, go for it, pal. I'll be happy with that.
I'm bound as I say the words, Bridgeman.
Yes, okay.
Get yourself a mute and let's hear for our manager, Stephen.
Right, pal. Cheers.
MBE.
And the performance this afternoon.
With pride, I thought the players, through a manic, right through the team, were outstanding today. It's another clean sheet, which is what has to be our foundation. Clean sheets will take us where we want to get to, but I think through a man, everyone's come to a difficult place today and performed ever so well, and we deserved our victory. The only thing, if you're picky, is we need to go and take games away from teams. So at 1-0, can we go and get that second goal? Obviously, Ash Taylor's made a fantastic clearance at the end. But we still looked the most dangerous team. I thought Aberdeen stayed in the game and pushed us hard for the win, but I thought we thoroughly deserved it.
You made such a strong start to the game and you were able to dominate throughout. Is that a lot of that down to the strong fitness work you guys have put in over pre-season?
Yeah, I've said it on many times. Jordan Milson gets them tuned in and fit, and I still think we can get fitter. We still need more games and more training together. I want to try and get some new faces in the door to help us over the course of the season. But I thought in the first half we took our pre-season form into the game. We looked dominant at times and we looked dangerous at times. And second half wasn't as pretty, but at times we're going to have to be tough, stick together and get over the line and put our bodies on the line like Leon did at the post. So I'm very proud of the all-round performance. It wasn't perfect, but it's certainly something to build on. And the 3 points were the most important thing today to get a good start.
Yeah, I know you really like Warriors in your team, and Leon's performance today for a debut was fantastic.
Well, you don't win nothing without them. That's why I like them. I love number 10s, I love people that shine, I love skills, I love people that entertain, but you need leaders, you need warriors, you need people who are going to put the body on the line, and I thought we've seen both sides of our game today. We played some lovely football, but when we had to dig deep, and when we had to stick together, and when we had to put our bodies on the line, everyone to a man delivered. For Leon's debut, away at Pataudry, being in the door a week, it was outstanding. I'm very pleased for him, and he got a round of applause in the dressing room, and it's thoroughly deserved.
One of the features of pre-season was Alfredo dropping deep into midfield to receive the ball, and fantastic to see that pay off today with the opening goal.
It paid off at times, and we do encourage that to try and overload the midfield, yes, but it's very important whilst we're open and that happens that the ball sticks and it secures, because if we're loose in them areas, whether it be Alfredo or any of the 10s, it could be dangerous. So it is something we work on, but we need to get better at it as well.
On then to Leverkusen, a fantastic challenge, but one I'm sure you're looking forward to.
Of course, we deserve this opportunity to still be in the tournament. Obviously, with COVID-19, we preferably would have wanted to play it closer to the time. It wasn't to be, but we deserve to still be in the tournament. We've still got a fighting chance, and we're going there to try and cause an upset. We understand the difficulty of the challenge, but whilst we've got Rangers badges on, you never give up.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. So, School Blue. Well, as known, Bridge, very, very honest, the manager.
Oh, marvellous. Marvellous to hear him speaking like that. By the way, and you know, we first came into the season where I think there's a lot of folk in this country here that didn't expect us, or had certainly hoped that we wouldn't get all 3 points. And my goodness gracious, we've done it. Done it in quite a bit of style in the first half. I thought we were very good. But the manager's just great. He's marvellous. I love listening to him. What he was saying about the second half is obviously it comes from the heart, and he was intimating there, you know, we're a bit weak and we get weaker and we need to do something about it. That's basically what he was saying to me. I don't know what you heard, but that's what I heard.
Fox, he's very honest when he talks about individual games and the strengths and weaknesses of the team.
Yes, indeed. I'd agreed with his summing up there. I was just as happy as he was to get a 1-0 result. I think any Rangers supporter would have took the 3 points and headed back down the road. So very pleasing for me. Thought there were some good individual performances, and as a team I think we performed all right on the day, and that's all that matters to me.
What I can't believe is some of the propaganda I've read in the last, say, 24 hours approximately, Fox. Morelos was playing against experienced centre-halves. One's worth, 100 million the last time I read McKenna. And the boy who plays for the team on the side of the city is playing against a boy at 18 making his debut in professional football. Aye, right, okay. Anyway, enough about that. So if people want to give us a call, what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us, Fox?
They can join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. And can I just also mention, if you phone by your phone, obviously, if you let it ring for about 3 or 4 times and then hang up, we will bring you into the call. We'll phone you back.
If you phone with anything else, bar your phone, it'll no work.
Tin cans don't work.
Yeah.
Tin cans.
Anyway, we've been joined by a good friend, GFK's joined us.
Evening, Oxshire. Evening, Bridgeman, and good evening, Fox. How are you?
Fine, Jimmy. Thanks, fine.
Jimmy.
Good lads. Good interview with the gaffer again. Good presser, after-match interview. I don't know what some people are moaning about. I'm not going to go into that. I thought, like Bridgeman said, I thought the first half, some of the football we played, I think was excellent. I don't think we get the credit that we are due. Second half, we kind of tapered off a wee bit, but we got the result. That's one of the games that we were losing every time, Nick, last season, guys, and the season before.
The last twice we played them in the first game of the season in Pittodrie, we drew twice. We were 1-0 up, Morelos got sent off, and we played okay, and they scored in the last minute. We deserved to win the game.
Yeah.
Then we were 2-0 up, played Sublime up till we went 2-0 up. About 10 minutes after that, we lost momentum, and the next thing you know, it was 2 each.
Yeah.
We were all raging. So they twice, and the first time we played Aberdeen, we took 2 points. This time we were up, we took 3, Jimmy. So,
well, because see when they get a man sent off, they seem to come into the game a wee bit more for about 5-6 minutes, and I was going, oh. But no, I was like deja vu for me. I'm thinking, here we go again. Great first half, poor second half. We're going to come away with a draw or maybe a defeat. But no, that wasn't to be. The defence held up well. Well, that's not even the right phrase. They were absolutely immense, the 4 of them. I thought they played very well together. And for a man who was brought in as supposedly 3rd or 4th choice, Centre back absolutely had a fantastic game, and that's not going overboard. Him and Aribo were my man of the match, and I just let Balogun shade it over Aribo. But I'm really happy, Oxshire. I mean, it's a great 3 points. It's a great game to get out the way, because we were all wondering what the crowd with the no crowd there would affect, and I think we dealt with it.
Big tick in the box. Fox, you've got a theory on why the centre backs are so easy.
Well, for me, the centre backs go to easy because the 2 sitting defensive midfield players. These boys are getting a lot of ribbon for the Rangers support that they're both the same, they do the same job. Of course they do. One's in the left and one's in the right, covering for our adventurous fullbacks. People need to get used to that's the system, that's the way they're told to play. They're no adventurers going forward because they're covering for the fullbacks. And for me on Saturday, them winning the battle in the midfield meant it was easy for our 2 centre-backs at the back.
Right, I'll give you that, and then I'll go to Bridge, but I'm going to slightly disagree with you, Fox, and I hate doing it. You know that I always agree with you, even when I don't.
I like a bit of debate.
Right, I'll tell you, you're talking crap. Right?
Oh, she was.
It's nothing to do with their positioning that people are getting on their back. It's their distribution and what they're doing on the ball is the problem. Kamara's constantly getting back the way, and Jack, a couple of times, maybe more in the game, gave the ball away under no pressure, bad passes. That's how they were getting the stick for me. The positional play I'll give you, but their use of the ball in that game was below par, in my opinion. Bridgeman.
I can't disagree with what you said there, your last week's statement there. I think that we noticed that. And there were some parts of the game where it was full of these small errors, because it reminded you some of the stuff we did last time were absolutely flying. All of a sudden, you lose that ball, it could take a crucial part. Before you know it, you're under attack. But I think the 2, Kamara and Jack, I thought played very, very well overall. But their distribution sometimes let them down, and their possession, they lost the ball weakly,
Off the ball, Fox, I'll give you it. They do work very, very hard. Anyway, we've also been joined by Stardug, but before we go to Stardug, I'll let Fox have a right to reply.
I'd agree with some of their passes did go astray, as did a lot of the other players. It's not just them.
No.
And when you've got the ball at the back, it's up to the players in the front to get themselves in position to take the ball. And sometimes when you're playing against 10 men, the opening that you see in the television isn't visual for down on the part, mate. And instead of trying adventurous balls, sometimes they play it across the back to retain possession. I think they're being told that, and I think they carry out those orders.
All right. They take one for the team, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, mate, okay. Evening, Stardug.
Evening, Oxshire. How's the sound, first of all? Is it all right?
Aye, carry on, mate.
Good. No, just listening to what you were saying about the midfield there. No, I'd said about Ryan Jack at the weekend. For me, covering and things like that in away games is fine, but it's for me, it's the home games. I think all the midfielders should be able to go and get involved in the link-up play, mate, and get bodies running about the box. And Ryan Jack, it's not only his distribution, mate. I just don't think he's got the level of link-up play that you see between Kent, Aribo, Hadji, and Morelos. I would like them to go and get involved. I've seen Kamara doing it at some points at the weekend, but I 100% get what you're saying, Oxshire. He turns into trouble too often, and we've seen him caught and we've been punished for it in the past as well, mate. But overall, I'm happy with the team, mate. It's 3 points out of 3, and I love what Gerard said about you can't win nothing without warriors in your team. We need warriors, mate, and that Balogun's definitely looks to me as if he's going to be a warrior for us.
Again, back to Fox and JFK. Fox, I believe you watched the game of the day again.
I did indeed.
And what were your thoughts now that you had a cool head on?
I thought we were never really in any danger for Aberdeen. Look, a lot's been made about the 2 centre forwards been missing. Aberdeen never got the ball forward. It wouldn't have mattered if they had Pele up front. They would never have got any chances in it. The rest of the 9 out of 10 are certain starters for Aberdeen. That was their strongest team, bar the strikers, and they produced nothing against us. The wee fracas where Balogun get injured, mate, that was just, they were in there kicking. And I'll tell you what, if the compliance officer has a look at that fracas, I think you'll see McKenna turning Balogun and slamming him into the post, mate. It wasn't a fall by Balogun. He's turned and thrown by McKenna. Should have been a red card for me.
All right, okay. Their midfield player could have got sent off as well. He should get booked for a pull on Morelos before he get booked. He should be off for 2 yellows.
That was Ojo.
Ojo.
Aye. He had a pull on Morelos in the first 10 minutes. The referee just spoke to him. It was a yellow card. You know?
Well, definitely. All day long, mate. All day long, you know.
Persistent fouling. Fouling.
But, I mean, I watched the game as well. Actually, it was last night I watched it again. And I agree with Fox here. I mean, they didn't look as if for that wee spell when we just were kind of regrouping when that big hammer thrower gets sent off. But no, we coped with everything well. You've got to remember, I think they had only 3 shots in goal, and I think only 1 was in target. You know, we stifled them the whole game. But a wee thing about the incident at the end of the game, just about a minute into injury time, was when him with a big bugle and one or other, they had a wee go at Alfredo in the corner and right in front of a linesman, and the linesman done nothing about it. And what they were trying to do was antagonising Alfredo into making it, because you know the kind of a bit of hot heat. But any time you've seen that Alfredo go, no, he's always warned about it. It happened in a couple of the friendlies there. So, but thankfully this time Alfredo didn't react. But he never got the reaction after the referee that he should have got. The referee should have booked the 2 of them Oaks year. But the guy Ojo should have been off for 2 yellows, mate. They should have been down to 9 men, definitely. Agree with that 100%. Agree with that, Hannah.
Bridgman, report on the new centre-half?
I thought the new centre-half was a tremendous game. I think him and Golson played very well together, to be perfectly honest with you. But I thought he had a really good game. Individual level, he showed some coolness, likes to go forward, strides nicely up there with the ball. I didn't see very many faults at all, other than just trying to get used to the players around about him. But up to head the ball quite cleanly. A number of times you've seen him going in and making the tackle and you get the ball back to the goalkeeper or over to the fullback. I thought it was a smashing game. And welcome back. Or welcome to Ibrox, should I say. And look forward to, well, we can't see him. I was going to say looking forward to seeing him at the weekend. But I look forward to seeing him playing for Rangers at Ibrox. A really nice player.
Startup, first impression could be a bargain.
Oh, 100% Oxford. As I said on Saturday, mate, he looks very sure of himself. He likes to play out for the back. A good pass to the boys. Passing was crisp. Doesn't shy away from a tackle. He was winning his battles up there, mate. Good clearances for corners. I mean, he puts his head in, but it hurts. Nobody can say he can't do that after the first game. We've seen that, mate. He's definitely got the heart for it. So, I'm absolutely delighted. As a signing, mate. I think he'll be solid for us. And as Bridgman says, I can't wait to see him at home as well. And him and Golson probably will develop a solid partnership. I'm looking forward to that. I really am looking forward to that. But unfortunately, Joe Aribo for me, mate, he was my man of the match on Saturday. I thought everything that boy does is just absolutely phenomenal. And I don't know if you remember, but he ran through in goal and he pretends to hit the shot and the guy goes to the ground and then he goes to go on him. And what a tackle it was for Lewis Ferguson. But if he didn't get that tackle in, that would have been a contender for goal of the season, mate, just for the sheer skill and what he'd done with the ball. And Joe Aribo, for me, he's going to be our best player this year. I know it's a bit early to say that, but he's just a special player, Oxford.
The street player, mate. The skills he does, he learned in the cages in London, you can see it. The close control, mate. You know, arguably we're man of the match. Balogun, a lot of people were going for, and Kent with a goal, he'll get a bit of praise. And I thought Morelos done all right. They were, for me, were 4 best players. Everybody else done okay, but they were 4. And I wouldn't go against what you're saying, Stardog, that Maribo was man of the match.
I would say out of the front 4, Oxchair, and I said this to you on Saturday, I don't know what your opinion on it was, but Hadji just looked as if he was lacking that wee bit, and even when he was tracking back sometimes, without being too critical, he just looks a bit stiff, mate, for all the talent he's got on the ball. When he runs, he looks a bit stiff sometimes.
Jury's still out for me, mate.
Aye, me as well.
He's going to do some spectacular things. GFK Hadji's going to score some great goals, but we're looking for consistency, aren't we? That's the problem.
Aye, I'm like yourself, mate. The jury's out with me on Hadji. As good a player as I think he is, but I think he needs to give a wee bit more. It's longevity for me. I know playing behind closed doors and but when he comes to play with fans at Ibrox and he makes a mistake and fans will get in his back, but it's when he comes to the Wednesday and the Tuesday nights at Hamilton Accies or up at Ross County and that, how's he going to cope with that? And it's there's better men than him that have no coped with it. So jury's out with me in that aspect. As a football player, I can see the skills there, but he's got to show it every week. And I know players can have their off games and that, but I mean, this is a big season for him and Stevie G and the rest of the guys. So he needs to make sure that it's all hands to the pump, and he needs to be there all the time. So I'm like yourself, Oxy. The jury's out still for me on Anis Hadji, mate. Definitely.
Fox, I'll give the boy his due, even though I didn't think he had the greatest of games. He doesn't hide. He still looks to try and take the ball, doesn't he?
He does. I think sometimes he's looking for the wonder pass or the wonder flick, and sometimes it goes wrong for him. But I'm like you. I think he'll be tremendous in games, and other games he'll not be very, what can you say, consistent on that level. I think he'll fade away out of games, and I can see him being substituted maybe 70 minutes in each game, mate.
All right. So if people want to join us, what's the number, JFK?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We're on the call with Old School Blower Fox, and you can come on and speak to Bridgeman. This is his last show before he goes to RTV.
Love it. Well said. Can I ask a question, guys? And this is to everybody.
Yes.
I'm getting confused because, I was looking on follow, and some of the messages you're getting through follow. I don't know whether they're sarcasm or what, but did we actually win on Saturday? I'm sure we did. And are we looking forward to a last 16 match on Thursday in the Europa League?
Sure we are.
So I can't see or I haven't heard any praise for a good victory for the Rangers, and good luck to them on Thursday night. I haven't heard anything, haven't seen anything. So
one thing, guys, we've played better up there and lost or drew games, so I'm delighted with the result personally.
Look, it's all about 3 points, chopping the game off, moving on. By this time next week, when we played at home to St Mirren, we'll be starting to get an idea slowly where we are. Stardog. Yeah? I think we'll get 2 home games on the bounce, mate, in the league. So hopefully we'll get 9 points out of 9 on the board, and we start with a bit of momentum, mate.
That's what it's all about, mate. As I said there 2 seconds ago, we've played better up at Pittodrie, and we've either lost or we've been stung in the last minute with a late equaliser. To go up there on the first day of the season, after everything that's happened as well over the past few months, there's no way everybody's 100% sharp yet, mate. To go up there and get the 3 points on the board, that's our hardest game of this month, mate, in my opinion, in the league. So let's just move on to the next game now. That one's chopped off. And Rangers fans are just going to need to take each game as it comes, mate. It's just 3 points every single game. We can't be looking ahead this year. It's every game as it comes, mate, and they all matter the same as each and every other one.
Yeah. I just get a feeling the manager's got his bit between his teeth. He knows what we need. He knows what's required. He's maybe gone for that blend to take us to the next level. JFK.
Of course, you can see that. I mean, in his demeanour, his interviews and that, and he knows what he's wanting. You know, the stupid question, which I didn't hear in his interview, that was on something else there, that they asked him about Alfredo. They want to go in the negatives, and the gaffer's answer was basically, you know, Alfredo had a great game today.
That was just on Sky, mate. That was on Sky.
Aye. So he's just trying to have a negative attitude that other reporters, you know, especially Ragman Bagwash, you know. So, the gaffer's doing the right things, and we're not getting too carried away, as we were saying at the friendlies. That was a great result.
I just hope the support wising up to what's going on here. When Morelos leaves or he stays or whatever, there's a concerted effort to unsettle him, either to affect him or to get him to leave. Some of the coverage in the press, Alfredo,
scandalous.
You know, talking about a player as if he's a criminal is unbelievable. Some of the things that's been wrote about the boy, he deserves a break. He does nothing to warrant the attacks he gets through your media. You know, if you actually look at what he's done, mate, what did he actually get sent off for at Parkhead? Nothing. What did he get sent off for at Morrible? Did he try a tackle with Constantine that could break somebody's leg? Neither. But he's vilified.
Yes, tried to kick his foul, didn't he, at Pataudry?
Pardon?
Scott McKenna tried to kick his face off up at Pataudry as well a couple of seasons ago, remember, mate?
Aye, and when you think when Morelos did get caught, he had a petulant kick out and get sent off in the letter of law that day, Gerrard's first game. He was maybe entitled to get sent off. But before that, McKenna had body checked him, stoked him, assaulted him, and he's still been sent off before Morelos even done the kick.
100%. Sure, there was actually a TV pundit on a certain show, and I'll not name them, on Friday, that actually didn't even use his name. He went as far as saying if he starts on Saturday, it'll give us an inclination as to what's happening with his future. Alfredo was
I'm talking to the Rangers supporters. Whether he stays or goes, if he goes, he deserves our good wishes. If he stays, we need to get behind him because there's a concerted effort here to undermine the young man. And remember that, he is a young man. Fox.
I agree 100%. His treatment in the press is scandalous. For Keith Jackson's Colombian insults about relating everything he done to drugs, he should have been sacked for that. And it's set the sort of template for every other press journalist that's been going about. There was a terrible article in the Evening Times on Saturday as well, who decided that he would pick out Morelos to find out what he was up to in the game. Never mentioned the sending off and the tackles, or the fact that Ferguson, who played for Aberdeen, I think was booked about 8 times last season, sent off twice. It's all about Alfie, and every time they can run him down, that's what they do. I mean, if it was across the city and you were looking at Edward, mate, you could say he shoots like a drive-by shooting. You know, they don't mention that, but...
No, there's an agenda. Come on, we need to wisen up.
Huge agenda. There's
an online battle, and I'm just trying to coach some of my experienced correspondents about it. JFK.
Aye, but you know, I totally agree. But you know what really irks at me? I need to use the right words here. See that sweary words. A lot of the Rangers fans that I've been reading the last few days, they bring it on themselves, and sometimes you wonder why you're not behind Alfie. They've been so negative about a great result against Aberdeen. And yet, you know, I'm reading comments like it's time to get rid of Morelos, he's a liability, you know, it's starting to happen again. And what's happening here, these people have been fueled with the negativity coming out the media. They're believing these lies. I mean, I want Alfredo Morelos to stay. I don't want to sell him. You know what I mean? I know people are out there saying sell him and bring in another 2 players. But I want to bring in another 2 players. I want him to play alongside Alfredo Morelos. But I just wish some Rangers fans out there would wake up and smell a coffee. You know, because when Alfredo Morelos leaves, then we might regret it. He's got to stay. And we've got to back him up 100%. I just feel that sometimes Rangers fans don't do that, Oxia.
Well,
no is all.
Where his ties are go remains to be seen. What I will say is, look, if he wants to go, you know my view, any player, if they don't want to be at Ibrox, it's time to shake hands and move on. I don't want anybody there that doesn't want to be there. If there's a price that the club have set and that gets it gets agreed and the wee man gets an offer and he decides to go, fine. But if he decides to stay, we've got to wisen up to what's happening with the media and some of the stuff online. Ain't coming for Rangers people. The Rangers people know what Morelos does. The people who watch him know what he does for our team, know what he's done for us. Yeah, he's let us down on occasions. I'll be the first to admit that. But there's a concerted effort, bordering on racism, I may add, to drive a wedge between him, to get him out of our club, to get him out of Scottish football, because he's the biggest talking point in Scottish football. Any other league would be marketing him. Stardog.
Has been for the past, 3-4 seasons now, Oxford. He's been the biggest talking point, I think, for the boy arrived in the country, mate, especially since Gerrard's first season in, when he really started to catch fire and really started to fin the back of the net. It's a fear factor, Oxford. It's a fear factor for me. I'll be honest with you, I watch his goals every single day now. If all that rubbish came out last week, I've watched all his goals. I spend 10-15 minutes watching his goals every day now because I'll miss him, mate. I love him as a player. He's the best striker I've seen at the club since Nikita Jelavic, in my opinion, obviously due to times and that. But no, it's absolutely fantastic to have a player of his calibre through. The European goals he scored for us, the performances, mate, in the all-firm games. I know he's not scored against them, but he's ragdolled their defences in several occasions now, mate. He's done everything but score, and I think he's a really special player, and I think we do need him in the team. I'm like Jimmy. I want to build round about him. I don't want to get rid of him, and I watch him every single week, mate, and I know what he does and what he doesn't do. Agreed, Oxford, he might have let us down on 1 or 2 occasions, but the goals, mate, he scored 77 goals in 130 odd appearances. The stats are there for everybody to see, mate. He's a fantastic player, and I would just love to keep him.
I take umbrage with one thing you said, Stardog. I don't think he's the same class as Kevin Kellis and Daza.
No.
He's not that low, you mean? He's not that low.
Sam Daza, uncle's favourite player.
I just have to. I think I've got a lot of sympathy for Alfredo and his family, folks. I think it's disgusting what's happening to the wee boy. And I'm saying wee boy, he's a man, but the young man, sort of like Brian Clough there.
Aye. No.
I was saying a wee bit last night.
Bridgeman, we know you're a superstar, but you're called Bridgeman.
I do apologise.
The Bridgeman's your name, or the Bridge, or Sir Bridge. Fox.
Well, whether Alfie stays or goes, if he does go, I've enjoyed the 3 to 4 years that he's been here. He's given some terrific highlights. Sometimes he's let us down, as you say, but overall he's been a superb player for us, mate. Superb player.
Bridgeman, in you come, mate.
I was just going to say the other night. I was going to say, I've watched them again as well today, and looking at the game, I thought he was absolutely immense for us. He'd come back, linked up, kicked up, get the ball, and maybe there was only a few of his passes that didn't quite get there, the full distance. But in reality, I think he needs to be a bit sharper. Well, I think we'd all agree with that. I think he's still carrying a slight bit more timber than is required, and needs to get rid of that, shed it off, and start getting his eye in. And once he gets maybe another 3 or 4 games under his belt, maybe gets a goal here and there. And I think all of our forwards and midfielders should be targeting that. Get the ball into him, let him get a goal, get up 2 goals, and start to build the confidence up. I don't know if we could ever work like that properly, but that's the way it should be getting done. The guy needs the help. He needs everybody's help because he's given the team help. He's coming away from there, and tactically speaking, that was really good stuff. Him coming away because his centre half didn't know what to do when he wasn't there. So sometimes he was pulling them right into the midfield, getting the ball and distributing it, and away they went. So really good. I'm really pleased with Morelos. I don't want Morelos to go at all. I think he's one of the best players in Scotland without a shadow of a doubt.
He's the best player in Scotland. He's the best player we've got as well.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think I've got a different view, Bridger. I think the last two performances against Coventry and against Aberdeen, he's not scored a goal. Nobody's gave him any. He's not had any real chances. Maybe people will argue he's not in the right place, but I think his all-round play has been pretty good. Stardog.
I would actually disagree with a wee point you made there about maybe not being in the right places. I think if you look at the Aberdeen game, the chance that Joe Aribo had crossed, saved off the line by the boy, what was his name, Ash Taylor, who had made a couple of game. Alfredo was there, mate. Alfredo was there. He was in space, and sometimes we've got to go for these wee easy passes to get the easier goals. And I'd like him to work on that. I think it was the Nice game as well. Brandon Barker, however it was, never squared it to him, and he was absolutely fizzing. So I believe he is still getting in the positions last year. But what I do believe is he's bringing himself into the game, mate. He's dragging defenders out into midfield, and the pace of Ryan Kent. I mean, we've seen it for the goal, mate, and it was some finish by him as well. We've not really talked about the finish much, mate. I thought it was a great finish by Ryan Kent. But his pace in behind's really going to cause problems for teams this year, and I think Alfredo putting himself into the midfield, it's just making more chances up front, mate. It's allowing bodies to get...
Team game, Stardog.
Of course it is, mate. And as I said at the weekend last year, I don't really care who puts the ball in the back of the net, mate. It's nice to see Alfredo score, but as long as we win games, mate, it doesn't matter who scores for me.
Okay, if you want to join us, the number's 0141 356 1972. It'd be great to get your thoughts on the game on Saturday. Join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We're brought in a call with Old School Blue. I just want to go around the panel. I'll start with JFK then Bridge. Would Alfie have scored the goal that Kent scored on Saturday?
Aye. If you're looking at the way the one with Candace to be back heel, it was quite similar to that. Alfie went through that night and put the ball in the pokey, the European night. So he would have scored. Yeah.
All right. Bridgeman.
I think a season ago, 6 months to 9 months or whatever it was when we were playing really well, yes, he would have scored it, no problem at all. I think right at this moment, if he pushed that ball to Alfie, I think he's had a couple where he's been through one-on-one with the goalkeepers and it just hasn't come off. And that's what I was meaning there. He's got a wee bit to go with the confidence and so on and so forth. I thought it was a fabulous goal made from right inside of our own box, and Morelos played the final ball. Fabulous stuff, But if that ball came through for Morelos right now, I don't know if he would have saved it. I don't think he would have scored it, to be honest. I don't think so.
Right. Honest opinion, Bridge. Honest opinion. That's how you get on to bigger and better things. Stardog, then Fox.
I think he would have scored it, but I don't think he would have scored it with as crisp a technique as Kent put it away, mate. Alfredo likes to put his foot through the ball. He likes to smash it by goalkeepers, and Kent finally placed that in the bottom corner, mate. As I said, I thought it was a smashing finish by Ryan Kent. But I'd always fancy Alfie one-on-one with the goalkeeper, mate. I think he's proved that against like the young boys and Hibs and Kilmarnock in that last season as well. I fancy him for one-on-one positions.
Fox.
I'm the opposite for Stardog. I think he's a striker that always gets his shots mostly on target, not so much being placed goals. I think if he'd went through in that ball, it would have been 50-50 whether he'd have scored or tried to go round the keeper. Kent was absolutely superb. His pace got him away for the back two, and on the run he never broke stride and stroked it into the corner, picked his spot. I don't think Alfie could have scored that goal, mate.
All right, very honest, Fox. I know, as you always are, being an honest opinion. I get where you're coming from, but I'd like to have thought that he could have done it, but I'm actually in your camp. He might have scored, but he wouldn't have scored as truly as Kent done. And if we can get 15 goals out of Kent this season, league goals I'm talking about here, and maybe the same out of Hadji, and the number 9 chips in with high 20s, mate, we're on the road. Takes the pressure off the team.
I think the manager got his tactics spot on with Alfie at the weekend. he kept them away for the centre backs and pulled them up the park further than they normally would have been. And as they followed him up towards the halfway line, created the gap at the back for Kent to run in through. And I think with Aberdeen's normal tactics, they'd have had the back four or maybe back six sitting in the box, because they'd never made an attempt to win that game on Saturday, as far as I'm concerned.
I think the highlight for Aberdeen was actually the cherry picker, wasn't it?
Cherry picker, I love it.
That was brilliant.
I did laugh at that, most of that, but that was very good.
Can I come in on something, Knox, here?
Yes, mate.
Just want to say that, remember the goal that Morelos scored after weekend? Diaz managed to backheel the ball.
You winded me up.
No, do you remember that one?
GFK just mentioned it.
Oh, I do apologise. I do it. Well, that's okay then, forget it. All I was going to say was the confidence.
You don't listen when GFK's talking.
No, the confidence that Morelos showed that night from inside his own half, running, picking the ball up and putting it in the net. One of the best goals seen. Ah, brilliant goal. That's all I'm going to say. And that, he wouldn't have done it to me now. He's got another bit to go.
Mm-hmm. All right. He was flying high with confidence here.
On the away strip, I just change up a minute.
I'm sure we'll come to that. All
right. Keep on.
All right. Are you going to talk about the game, or are you going to talk about the strips?
No, I just thought I've talked to a couple of people and said they think it's one of the best away strips I've had in many a year. That was all.
All right.
I agree with
that. Because obviously we got a bit to talk about after 10 about what's happening at the club, etc. And I'm sure strips will get mentioned. Did you get yours? It seemed to run out of small mediums.
Well, I was looking to see if there were socks, mate. I'm a sock man. Rangers socks. Can I just say, I know we're going to talk about strips,
a pair of socks.
I have heard that the double XLs are quite tight. I won't be modelling it. I don't even think I would be modelling the 3XL. There you go.
Just pull your socks up, JFK.
Just pull my socks up. Hope they're ankle socks.
All right, we'll be joined by a caller. I think. Evening, caller.
All right, it's Wheels.
How we doing, Wheels? All right?
How we doing, guys?
All right, mate. What's on your mind?
Just obviously happy with the start to the season. Obviously, I've been listening to all the talk about Alfie. I thought it was superb. He didn't get his goal, but it was all over the place. His link-up play was excellent. I'd be devastated if he left, I'm not going to lie. But what I really want to mention is the big guy at the back, Balogun. He was absolutely superb. That's the kind of defender we need. Calm on the ball, didn't panic once. Knew the passes to play. He was solid, and getting up after that head smash on the post, I thought it was done. I really thought it was done when that happened. Thought it was out cold. Superb. I know it's early days, and I know we don't like getting carried away too quickly.
Oh, you can only, as Roy Walker says, you can only see what you say.
That's it. But for what I've seen, if he keeps that up, I think he might be a starter. He might be a regular starter.
Obviously, like the rest of these fields, and I'll take you to a centre half expert, Bridge. I enjoyed the guy. What surprised me was his turn of pace, Bridge, but I thought he had an excellent match.
Superb game from start to finish. And you could take away a bit, wee bit for nerves and so on and so forth, but he just seemed to fit right in. He's got a lovely bit of pace, good turn of pace, and he likes to get up front a wee bit now and again. But defensively, very good, very, very good indeed. Obviously, I don't know what his head's like after getting bumped into the post, but let's hope he comes out of there without a mark on him. and he's ready for the next game. You know, a lot of guys, myself included, are wondering if he would start. Well, there you go. The manager's put his faith in him, and he's been rewarded very well. So well done.
I'll tell you the best thing we can do. Get yourself a mute, and we'll hear for your centre half Leon Balogun.
We're happy with the win. Obviously, it was my first game, my welcome to Scottish football. Could have hardly gone any better. I think hardly any harder as well, but it's all right.
How did you find adjusting to the pace of the game? Because I guess it's very different up here in Scotland.
Not so much, to be honest. Like I've had different or similar games before in the Bundesliga, in the Prem, and also in the Championship. It's very direct, but you just have to adapt. And obviously, the lads did a great job in helping me to adjust throughout the whole week that I've joined now. And no, it's been fun. A bit second half, maybe not exactly what we wanted the game to be and to look like, but we're happy with the win and the clean sheet as well as a defender.
A physical test as well, and we saw you colliding with the post second half. Okay after that one?
Yeah, I took some tablets already to keep the headache down, but I mean, I carried on. I don't think that I suffered any major concussion or anything like that. That's the most important. And obviously, I got along well. Got a few headers in after that as well, so no need to worry, I think.
How helpful was it playing alongside Connor Goldston today and also James Tavernier, the way that they lead the team from the back?
That's been great. They helped me throughout the week as well. They took me to the side a lot, so I adapt quite quickly. Then obviously my experience helps a little bit, but it's been great. He's a great talker on the pitch. Talks sometimes, like he told me before the match, if I'm too much in the air, it's just to help you. But I said, like, I welcome that because I will need some time to get used to the mechanisms. But no, it's been great, both of them, even Bonner as well.
And a shame that the supporters couldn't be in the stadium today, but what have you made of their reception online to you becoming a Rangers player and the welcome you've had from them?
It's been big, to be honest. When I signed on Friday, because everything was a bit hectical for me, I had to go down back to Manchester, get some stuff to settle ASAP. But no, it's been amazing. Like, I slowly start to get an idea of how big the fan culture is. As I said in my first interview, I heard a lot about it, but I think there's nothing like having them with you, behind you, and everybody's looking forward to get them back into the stadium.
There we go. German
What a speaker.
Nigerian.
What a speaker.
Sounds like a Dutchman, didn't he?
Yes, indeed. Perfect English too. Absolutely superb.
Well, put it this way, it's better than yours.
Yeah.
Enjoyed his debut, very honest. I think he's 32, JFK, so right age for a centre-half, right at a peak. What really surprised me was the one run he had when he took the ball to the edge of the box, and then in the second half they showed us a flight of foot to get their defender, their forward, and I was surprised at that, how quick he actually was.
Yeah. 32, all I can say is Davy Weir. 32, Davy Weir. Five and a bit years Davy Weir was here. He's only 32 and he didn't look out of place at all. His interview was absolutely fantastic. He's been with a few decent clubs before he came to us. Yep, it'll do for me. He's done himself a lot of good there, becoming probably from third and fourth. Possibly the man who's got possession of the jersey when Big Katic does come back, which in 4 or 5 months' time, and the big man's still playing like that, then he'll find it hard to get that jersey off him. So a good signing, mate, a really good signing. It's steadied the ship. All we need news for Big Tav to steady himself, and we're rock solid at the back, mate. Goodbye.
Tav had a quiet, but Tav had a quiet game for Tav. Was a lot of errors. People sometimes question his positioning, but sometimes we just look at it, and because it's Tav, he gets a bad stick. But he's quiet. Obviously, it's the start of the season, so hopefully he can kick on. Wheels, Balogun, a bargain. It first looks a bargain.
It does, mate. As I say, I don't like getting carried away too early. But if he can keep it that kind of form, then I think we're on to a winner there. And listening to his interview there, he spoke very, very well. when he was asked about the pace of the game, he was like, "No, it's not really anything new to me. I like that, that it wasn't phased by the game up here." And he seems to have shaken off that head knock, which is good news as well. So I'm very
all right.
happy
We're being joined by James from Tennessee. Evening, James.
Evening, boys. How you all doing?
James.
All right, mate. You're a good self.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, good. I always like to talk about players, but I watched Sori Kaba and Joel Anderson play for Midtjylland, and I always thought they were good, but Sori Kaba had a dreadful game. I wouldn't sign him, to be honest. Remember, I was always pushing for him. He was absolutely hopeless. He couldn't even retain the ball. And the commentator said that Midtjylland were disappointed with him and they wanted rid of him, but I wouldn't sign him. I wouldn't even sign the Joel Anderson, the fullback, as well, because he didn't have a good game neither. But there is a player in the Swedish league, an 18-year-old boy who tells me that sometimes Scottish football is lagging behind our 18-year. This guy was fantastic. A guy called Paulus Abraham from AIK in Sweden. Really good player. He's as good as, I would say, Jude Bellingham, who went to Borussia Dortmund for 30 million, and this guy would be worth a buy. But I just wanted to mention some players for you. But I thought Rangers played good in the first half. They kind of slackened off in the second half. But it's like a game that Aberdeen's always. It's a game out the road, so it's a very good start.
You're here, mate. I watched Birmingham City one day to watch that young boy, and I must admit, he was non-existent the time I watched them.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard all the hype. I actually particularly wanted to watch him to see what he played like. He was pretty non-existent, so I must have picked a bad day at the office.
Paulus Abraham is really good. Fantastic 18-year-old. See, this guy plays with style. He'd be a great addition to our squad. I would spend at least $2 million on him. He's a really good player, but fantastic.
Have you heard any of the boys who have been linked with?
Zunga, I've never really heard of him.
Right.
Zunga and
the guy Matic, is it? Matic?
Matic is
Maric.
Yeah.
Maric.
Yeah. I saw some YouTube. It looks good enough, but what is good enough, I don't know. I looked at a guy called Tellin from Malmo. He's on loan, but didn't like him neither. There's a good defender in the Danish league called Kasper Nielsen. Right, he's a left back, right enough, and he was in transfer market going for $550,000, but he's going up to $2 million recently in the last month because scores great goals, great shot on him. But
he just goes in at the back post, doesn't he, Kasper?
Pardon?
Kasper Nielsen, he just goes in at the back post.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but there's a lot of good players in Danish and Swedish football. A lot of good players in Danish and Swedish football I watch over here in America.
There is value for money there. That's the trouble compared to the EPL. Standard where everybody's inflated.
Yeah.
I was just talking the players James was mentioning there, and some of the age of the boys. And James, see if you were to go and get that 18-year-old boy and spend £2 million on him, could I just ask, would you be expecting him to go to the first team? And if so, who would they be replacing? Because in my opinion, I don't think we need any more prospects, mate. I really think we need some serial professionals in there that have been the course,
Warriors,
to tighten up the
Warriors.
Because I think the front four of the team are already pretty young, and I think we're going to get good value for money out of them if we work with them.
Well, the one that I would say a good buy is a backup to Hadji. He's faster than Hadji. His technical skills is really good. He knows what he's doing. So that would be the answer to that. But he's a good buy for the future and would make the bench and bring him on, and he'd be a good player. And because what I seen of the ball, he was really, really good. Held up the ball. He had the first shot against the team that were playing yesterday and nearly scored. He was really good, and he did, yeah.
Should you be happy, James, if Rangers spent £2 million on a player for the bench this season, or do you think we need a bit more than that?
You might get him for less. You might get him for the Swedish football. They might take $1 million for him, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
$1 million quid for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, but we spent 250,000 on that Blackpool boy, and he's looks a good player. What I've seen him, it's always one game, right enough, but I'm just saying there's a lot of good players all over the world that we can pick up. Be good for the bench. Like, he's a better player than Jake Hasty or any of these guys that we've got. But sorry, Kaba, no.
No, see, but if you were a scout, we'd have signed him. It'd be your fault.
Yeah, I know. But I saw him, and to be honest, he couldn't even hold up the ball. It was. I would.
£5 million we paid for him. £5 million on your word.
Well, it's good that I'm honest. I saw him and I said no.
You need to get a job beside Mark Allen, mate.
Well, put my name down for it. That's what they should do. Have scouts all over the world looking at players and putting them in contact with Rangers. That would be a good move. But
anyway, gentlemen,
and also,
on you go, James, before we go.
Just one more thing. I looked at Antaga. I think he plays for Danish. No, him not very good as well. I wouldn't buy him. But I'm going to go and just enjoy the show. I'll let you go on with it. But
cheers,
well done, Rangers. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Cheers, James. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Get yourself in mute. What do you think we're going to get tonight, Bridgeman?
I want the Blue Sea of Ibrox soft version. But I don't think we're going to get it.
Mrs. Bridges standing there waiting for a waltz.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the hand, after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was lost, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I Rangers for life. From that day I'll be Rangers for life. From that day I'll be Rangers for life.
Wasn't quite what you asked for, Bridge, but slow enough.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. I've just sat down.
Don't ask us who that is.
A wee
'cause we
skate
don't
round the
know.
scullery. It was just fantastic.
Fox, don't ask us who that is because we don't know, do we?
Mystery singer.
The mystery singer. Who you going for? It's either Skipper, CB, or Little Blue.
What, who's singing it?
Aye.
I would maybe be Little Blue more than Skipper, I think.
I don't know. CB's got a high voice.
Oh, aye.
Maybe one of Skipper's friends, you know, them who don't know if they're coming or going.
Don't you forgot about them. I forgot about them, Jimmy. Well spotted. Well spotted.
Is he still friends with him?
Our old colonial friends. Tie.
Skipper, what a man.
Shocker, eh, man.
The morals of an alley cat.
Oh, wow. That's quite complimentary to the alley cat, that one.
CB's the gentleman of that pairing. Skipper. The
Oh,
morals
yes,
of an
yes.
alley cat. Anyway, yeah, we move on. JFK, you raised the strips there. I like to see Rangers playing blue all the time, mate.
Yeah.
That's your colours. But I've got to say, I seen it on Friday night for the first time, and I'm impressed with the away tap. I have not seen one in the flesh yet. I don't doubt I will in the next, say, 48 hours. Home and away should arrive, hopefully. But so far, so good. It's not been perfect. We're getting some people have got problems getting their stuff, but hopefully everything will be resolved and we can move forward. My first impressions is, yes, it will do for me.
Yeah, superb. I've spoken to a few people. I think it's a cracking strip. It's one of the best that I've seen Rangers away for a long, long time. And we have had a few bummers. But I like it. I'm like yourself, I'm a traditionalist. I like to see us playing the blue, but if there's an away strip got to be played in and we're playing against the sheep, I'm quite happy for them to wear the white. I like it. Up close, at first when I saw the pictures, I didn't think it done it justice, but seeing it up close now, mate, I think it's a cracking strip. Glad to see it. If shove came to push, I would rather we had went back to like the orange and blue. I'd like to have seen that. I know the Scumdy United playing that, but I would have liked to have seen as that were away strip being orange and blue. For just the reason that I like the orange and blue.
Stardog, you're a fashion correspondent. Even
I know Jimmy likes the bit of orange.
Definitely.
I love the orange strip and all, Jimmy. I must say, both the strips that have been released there over the years, but just to say on the away strip, Oxford, I honestly love it. I thought I was going to get the home tap this year, but I must admit, after watching the boys playing that on Saturday, I loved it, mate. I like it. Connor likes it as well. He's still going to get the home strip, but I think the away strip's smart, mate. It's different. I was trying to kind of compare it to away strips in the past, and there's not really one that sticks out that you can say it's kind of similar to, mate. It's very different.
I can think back, Stargog, maybe a wee bit before your time, was maybe the Nike strip, the white one we had back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's similarities in that.
Aye, wee bit of similarities in that, mate. But apart from that, you know, there's nothing else that really stands out. So I like the fact that it's different, mate. I must admit, I do like the white as well. I like the white. So I am delighted with it, Austria. Couldn't complain about any of it, mate.
All right. Bridgeman, I know you're not the type that gets out and buys strips anymore, but for us it's all positive stuff for the club. Well, obviously the 1st of August, no longer any tie-ups with your mate, Mr. Ashley.
Wonderful news, that. Wonderful news. And let's hope it's all true, as I've said before. we get to a certain point and we know there's nothing untoward happening vis-a-vis our accounts and so on and so forth, this will be really, really big news for the Rangers. And we're going into our sort of big celebratory in a couple of years' time. So fantastic news for Rangers. I love the strip. I thought the strip looked absolutely brilliant. The boys were wearing it. Absolutely brilliant. I'm not, as you say, I'm not a big strip buyer anymore. I like to see them. I think they're really nice, you know. And all of the strips that I've seen up to now, anyway, from Castor have been excellent. Look really good. And of course, I'm seeing it on the wee WhatsApp group. There's people have got delivery of them, saying they're very happy with it, you know. So very happy, very happy. Well, yeah, I know that you buy them, or you used to buy them for your kids, Oxchair, but
nothing
still
changed,
do that.
mate. Nothing changed.
Nothing changes, no.
Nothing changed. Dear. Stardog, you've got years to keep buying these strip first, mate. I'll just let you know, yeah.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, I take great pride in it. There's honestly nothing like it. That was me every birthday, every Christmas, mate. It was a home tap for my birthday in November, and it was a away tap for Christmas every year. And I'll do the same with my two boys, mate, as well. So I will. There's nothing like it, getting seeing the new Rangers tap, and then finally getting it. I love it, mate. It's a great feeling, and as everybody else is saying on the panel, absolutely delighted with the away strip, Oxchair.
Aye. And what about the brand, mate? I know you're like the gym gear, the sports gear, etc. What are you making of this Castor brand? Obviously, me and Jimmy, between us, we're saving up for a pair of socks, aren't we?
Aye.
JFK.
Aye. I don't know if they go to tent size, mate, but we'll ask them.
But the gear looks as if it is quality. We've been asking for quality for years, so let's know more when we get it.
100% Oxchair. I know what I've heard everybody saying, you know, I know there's folk got body warmers. I know Port Bear picked up a couple of triple XL hoodies and whatnot, and he says they fit at him just great. So he's happy with the gear, mate. The taps, I'll buy the Fitbit taps. I'll not be buying any clothing, but I'll buy the Fitbit taps, mate. Anything for Rangers I'll buy 100%, home or away. I'm happy with the taps, mate.
I think Port Bear's hoodies were windbreaks, mate. I don't know if they actually had a hood on them.
The Russian circus is still in there, I can't net that much.
Aye, so would it be something was it a brand you'd ever heard of, Stardog?
Honestly, Oxchair, it wasn't, mate. No, it wasn't a brand I'd ever heard of. I'm an Adidas man, mate. I wear everything Adidas, so I do. So
you don't.
No anymore, I don't know, but I can't make a habit a lifetime just for them, mate. No chance. No chance. But as I say, the clothing gear, tracksuits, hoodies and that, not so much my style, mate, but as of the Rangers tops, I'm 110% in.
All right. Fox, I know you always look at the merchandise. You might not buy the home strip, but you always buy something, mate. What's your first impressions?
I've liked the both set of strips that I've seen so far. I think they look quality. For me, it'll be a wee wander into the new shop, and when I get time at the first time we're at Ibrox, I think I'll be more looking at the training gear for the house and moving about.
Back into training, mate.
Aye, well, I think that'll be my sort of line to buy. But the most important thing is it was a great deal for the club and a good money spinner for the club, and that becomes the most important point. Instead of us selling our merchandise for pennies, we're going to make a fair price on them, and that can only benefit us in the future.
Here, Foxy. Here.
I don't want to swear on here, but you do know, and the Ashley's mob have got the strips in their stores. So, but that's not a big issue for me, and the fact is that the money goes to Rangers. They would to pike a store to buy the Rangers merchandise to sell it. So it's not like before when they were making the biggest lump of the money. So Rangers will make out of that. So
let's hope they get left with them on their shelves, mate. Just a personal opinion, of course.
Aye, well, just that just people will say that should Rangers be allowing them to sell them? It's no Rangers say on this, people. It's Castor.
Support them direct for Castor, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Can I ask a question, Jimmy? Can I ask a question? I mean, seriously, we're all Rangers fans. who on earth in the Rangers community, after all that's went on over the last 6-7 years there, and the wars we've been at with Ashley, who on earth, as a Rangers fan, would walk into a Sports Direct shop and buy a Rangers top?
I'll tell you who would do it, Bridge. Some granny or
Right.
auntie or
Oh,
uncle.
yes, apart from I'm talking about people like us. We're Rangers fans. We know what's been happening and so on and so forth. But I wouldn't even go into their shop and buy anything. Anything else.
Look, Bridgeman, you and I are reading off the same book. Look, at the end of the day, the Clydebank shop near me's got them, right? They're advertising them to be in sales soon. They're only doing online sales now. As Oxyar says, if the wee mammy or the wee granny's walking by with a vein and he wants a strip, come on now, they'll go in and get it. So all I'm saying is that I hope I don't see any negativity about Rangers allowing. It's nothing to do with Rangers. Cash Store decide who is going to get the strips, and they've decided to give, I think it's 10,000 initially to the or UK, or whatever, maybe just Scotland. So people will still buy them. There's no doubt about that. Me personally, that's what I wouldn't buy my socks, Oxyar.
Aye, here, mate. Here. It's not a shop I'd go in. There's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't go in, but don't get me started. You've just broke my chain of thought with that laugh of yours.
Sorry, pal, sorry.
Kilmarnock was on Saturday, and I wanted to back up with Kilmarnock. Says, look, we're not telling everybody how to spend their money, and the support's been absolutely superb. Season tickets, my years, whatever. But if you can, and you can afford it, let's get the merchandise. Let's make this deal a roaring success. And maybe wait till the casual stuff comes out and you get yourself some different stuff like Fox once you can do that, because we've not had this Stardug for nearly 10 years now. So we can enjoy it. We can get the revenue in and it will show on the balance sheet that we've never had, as I say, for approximately 10 years, and it's all positive for our club.
100%, Oxyar. It's absolutely fantastic for the club. Now we as Rangers fans, want 100% back up what Jimmy and Bridgeman's saying. But to me, it doesn't even really come down to the club. It comes down to us as Rangers fans. We know what's happened, and it comes down to us, mate. And we're not going to go and put the blue pound into any of his shops now. It's in our hands now. And I don't imagine anybody that goes to Ibrox or anybody that's a Rangers fan will go anywhere and anywhere else and buy, a Rangers tap or any bit of merchandise at all, whether it's Fox's slippers or, you never know, mate. But I don't imagine it'll all be going back into the club now. Like you say, it's an option we've no had in far too long. And it's so much money that's went missing early years, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's so much money we could have earned, so much more revenue. And I'm so happy that we're going to start to reap the benefits of this, mate, because, as you say, it's been long, long overdue. And the Rangers fans know, mate, where their money's best spent now. And it's only going to be better for our club.
Well said, John, man. So, people want to join us. These are thoughts. What's the number? JFK.
0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us? Bridgeman.
Or you can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, where the very handsome Old School Blue will bring you in and enjoy yourself.
So what's the story with these two? You've been headhunted in the transfer window, RTV and Sky. Any truth in it?
Who you speak to me?
Who's the only megastar on here?
Honestly, I'm laughing because that's the first I've heard anything you guys telling me, so I'm thinking you're just winding me up. That's all there is to it. I know nothing about it.
Trending on Twitter.
I heard.
Must be true.
I heard that Rangers jobbing their horns, Oxyar, keeping a hold of this man. That's what I heard. The rumours are circulating down in
the ghetto.
The ghetto, mate. The rumours are circulating that we're going to struggle to hold on to you. The sharks are swimming around the boat.
I love it.
Is it Alfredo Morelos at Rangers Radio?
Yep.
Oh, what a shocker you lot are. What a shocker. Jimmy, you know anything about this, JFK?
Well, I've just been asked to come in as somebody's replacement. I don't know who that is, but I was told somebody was moving on.
You get hospital radio, you go.
Is that what I got? Oh, there you go. Well, it pays 1.5 lollipops. You only pay me once.
The other one that came in for you, I don't know if I'm reading this right. RC radio.
Was it?
For JFK.
Aye.
He's very popular no matter where he goes, that boy.
RC radio would be good for me. That'd be on the right. Would be.
Oh dear.
Oh, couldn't make up.
That was a great tweet. But I don't know who done it. The staunchest, I think.
Brilliant.
Did you laugh, Stardog?
I laughed, and do you know, I automatically thought as well, Barry Ferguson's just left the PLZ show, no doubt they'll be in for Bridgeman and all to replace him.
I stopped watching that Stardog. It became their show now. No. Stop watching it.
Oh dear, Bridge. See, Fox is just a superstar. You're a mega star.
Fox is top man. Fox is a top man. And once they realise how real cool Fox is, when they see him in his loungewear, you know, with Castor badges on it, they'll go in for him. For sure.
I'm looking forward to buying some stuff, you know, that I can still contribute that way apart from the season tickets. But nice wee tie, maybe another new tie for a collection.
Another tie? No, there's some. If they get it right with the Rangers stuff for the casual gear, mate.
Yeah.
And the quality's the same as their golf gear, their t-shirts, mate. It'll be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. It's all going to be positive for the club, Fox, eh?
Without a doubt. If people are looking for other Rangers merchandise, there's loads of it floating about if the price range is out of your control, and there's always Rangers stuff to be bought on other sites as well, mate. You know, I think so. There's a lot of people doing lovely badges and ties and other things, so you can contribute, you know.
The Rangers family's big and does some great work in charities, mate. They've all got causes. We've got obviously the big one that we're usually involved with Erskine. They've got boys fighting all the time, supporting the NHS. Through the Rangers family, we'll get boys supporting all sorts, boys and girls, should I say, supporting all sorts of causes, JFK.
Especially the troops.
Yeah, definitely the Erskine one that we've contributed over the years and that. And everybody's got their own charities that they like to contribute to in their own right.
Personal stuff.
But the Rangers Foundation do a lot of great things, and it's good to put money in the tins and different things that you do in match day. So, it's a great thing to do, mate.
Rangers radio were way ahead of ourselves at the Bulls, Fox. We were never within 2 metres yet, the Jack.
I know.
We done social distances before anybody else.
Very good.
Right, cut that out or I'll be getting phone calls for 5.
Anyway, we'll be joined by Gary. Evening, Gary. How we doing, mate?
Evening, gang. How you getting on?
All right.
Hey, Gary.
It was just you were talking about charities. Did you know that the MOD used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to give into the York Hill, the leukemia research and stuff like that. They used to take all the kids into the mega store and show them the players and stuff like that. So just when you were talking about charities and I was just wondering if that still happened.
I know that sometimes it will frighten you how much of the spare time. Some of the players, no all the players, they're all different, but there's some players take up the cudgel, get involved in a lot of charity work, not just a Christmas Day, etc. They do it quietly and effectively, you know. And their support, if we'll go to it, we'll give it, you know what I mean? We don't shout about it, we just do it. We don't con people. We're getting founded and saying we're founded on charity and then become a public limited company. We don't try and con anybody. Maybe somebody should put the spotlight on that. How long Father Wilfred done last week? Oh, don't get me started on that. Sorry, Gary.
It was just to go back to what you're talking about with the game on Saturday.
Go on then, mate. Give your thoughts.
I thought it was really, really good to hear the manager and the players talking like positive after the game. There wasn't any like, I don't know, like last season I think we kind of criticised ourselves too much in public, whereas the manager came out after the game, and I think we all kind of knew that the second half wasn't as great as the first, but he came out and praised the players. He just said, no, it was a great performance, and everybody battled away to get the win and stuff like that. Whereas I think where he's maybe learned is that he's kind of got to keep it in house this year, just keep the positivity going. Everything's positive rather than bringing any negatives into the team.
I think we've also got to be fair. He's a megastar, not as big as Bridge, of course, but Stevie G's a global brand, Stardog. He's done it all in the game. He's captained his country. He's lifted the European Cup, never won the league. But he's still an experience as a manager, so hopefully he's learning on the job and he's getting better and better.
I agree with that also. I think everybody knows, what he was as a player and the leadership skills he showed and how he dragged his team out of positions at times in games, And the beautiful thing about him as a manager, mate, is he's transitioning with the club, he's transitioning into his role. He's made a few mistakes. He's showed signs of frustrations at times, but that's only because he wants to see his team do better, mate. He's maybe come out with some remarks after games and things, and you think, oh, he's losing it. But he's no, mate. He's a winner. He's a passionate guy, and I think over time he's learning. Some things are better kept in house. And if you look at the last maybe 5-6 months at the club, whether it's been sponsors or players coming in or players coming out, you're not really hearing anything, mate, until it's happening. So I think that's sort of a lot to do with Steven Gerrard. He wants everything in house. He wants a tight ship. He wants a tight unit to run in there. And I think it's only a positive thing, mate. He's grown with the club, and I've no doubt he's going to be a fantastic manager for us. I really, really do.
Gary, then.
No, it's Stardog. I think me and Stardog are in kind of the same mind frame with him. It's like that wasn't a criticism on Gerrard. It was
no, not at all, mate. It was just observation, it
was just like
welcome
seeing
to the
them.
O2 messaging service.
Carry on, Gary.
I know it was just. I just noticed it was just a wee thing that I noticed when he was getting the interviews and stuff like that. You could tell that they were trying to go down the line saying about the second half and stuff like that, and he was just batting it away. And it was the same with Ryan Kent's interview as well. He just batted that way. He just said, no, we all worked as a team. We're all hungry to get the win. And I think I don't know if somebody's been in talking to them, but it seems to be this kind of positivity this season. It's like, no, we're going to do it. We've got to do it. We've got to do it, kind of thing. So it's good. It's good to see. And plus as well, what I says, it was a good performance. I said, I think last week that Aberdeen was always got to be a hard game, and it proved it. But what I say is that games like that probably last year we probably would have just slipped away and came away with a draw, but came away with 3 points, and it's a hard game out the way.
Gary, you're a bit one of the younger guys on the panel, so you and Stardog. What's your view on the Castor and the merchandise deal and the strips particular?
I was like a kid like Christmas the day I got my message, my email saying that the delivery man was on his way and I'm still at work, so I was hoping that he was going to leave it in the blue bin for me, so, which he did, thankfully. But the quality this year is great. It's the only thing I would say is that.
Did you get the full kit, Gary?
No, just the home shot. Aye.
All right.
That's for mum and dad to buy at Christmas, the shorts and the socks. But no, as it says, you pay. I would expect it to be good quality for what the money you're paying for it, to be fair. You know what I mean? So.
And your first impressions?
I've seen what I says a few folk saying about the stitching and stuff like that, but mine was totally perfect.
Don't believe everything you read online, mate.
Everything was bang on, mate. Like I says, even the stuff at the bottom, and even the packaging. See when it came, like I had to look at the packaging and stuff like that. It's like, it's just a bag. It looked the real deal, if you know what I mean. So, no, really happy with it. All I would say is probably if you are ordering one, go the size above. because
Your snooker JFK.
Oh, they don't come to 6XL, do they? Oh, come on. What is that all about? Come on, Christopher.
I think I'll not be eating too many Ibrox pies this year, to be honest.
You're not missing out a lot.
Oh, you're not missing out there.
Get that sorted. That's the
Save your
next
teeth.
thing.
I better save in your teeth.
Aye.
I brought a couple of Hamish door stoppers, Stardog.
Even the dog would eat them.
Oh, even the dog would eat them, you're right.
Well, wait for that call to come back in. Aye, that's fantastic, Gary. You've got it in the flesh. You're saying it was that would. I take it that's a home kit, home top.
Yeah, the home top. Aye. Yep. Aye.
Would you get on the back Oxia?
No, it's blank. No. It's just.
What did you say?
It's blankety blank.
All right, I thought you said something else.
No, that'll be a trip into the new shop. That'll give me an excuse to go into the new mega store, I suppose.
Can I ask you a question, Gary?
Yeah.
What size is it you bought?
I bought a medium.
Oh, well done, pal. Well done.
God,
So,
I'm jealous.
The last time Bridge seen a medium, it was a seance.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I think I was at the same time. Oh dear me.
But you know, see the way the Rangers, the My Jails kit, in that it's actually, see when you put it all together, it is actually, you can tell that they've put a wee bit of thought behind it this year. Especially with getting like the scarf and that, because it all kind of, and the badge, the wee badge that goes with it and stuff, it all kind of ties in nice with it. So
if I didn't know better, I think you might have been listening to us. What do you think? What do you think, Stardog?
Oh, I think they definitely got the message in that one, Australia. That was one of your war cries for a way back, wasn't it?
Yep.
Definitely been listening in. I think they got the message.
Good that it's all quality gear, Fox, eh?
Yes, indeed. I'm glad to hear Gary saying he's really pleased with it, and I hope most other people are as well. Look, there will be some people who will receive packages that may be damaged or deliberately damaged or stolen. That's no the supplier's fault, mate. That's just things that happen in transit. But as far as I see on social media, most people are very, very pleased with the quality and the presentation of the stuff when it arrived. I've got a question for you.
Yes,
you were
mate.
talking about the manager there, right? Let's have a look between Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard and Arteta, mate. The difference, what's the difference to the three for me is the other two inherited a really good squad, full of internationals. Gerrard's had to build for the bottom upwards. So who is doing the better job?
Obviously, Arteta won the cup. Great to see a Ranger do well there. I didn't fancy them for the first 10 minutes, Arsenal. I thought they were going to get murdered. I didn't have a dog in the race, but I thought the best team won over the 90 minutes. But so Arteta's won a bit of silverware. Lampard, with a transfer embargoes, managed to get them into the Champions League, which is also a big thing. Got into a cup final. They're doing okay. If you look what Gerrard's done with us in Europe, mate, I think even for 2 years ago, I think there was only 5 players playing. McGregor, Tavernier, Golston, Jack and Morelos, who started the time we played at Pittodrie. I think that's from memory. I think Candace and Murphy were playing up front beside Morelos. Arfield played and Ajaria, or was it Koulibaly? So our squad's evolving, as you rightly said. He's built up for a low base. So yeah, I would say maybe our man's in the lead, mate. But others might say I'm biased. Bridgeman.
I would say you're biased too, to be honest.
But
I think that I don't think there's any real comparison. I think that, as Foxy said, those two they've walked into whatever they've walked into from a club's perspective because they're just new managers, and all the money and all the players that they've got, some of the top players in the English Premier League, and our manager's he's built and built. So it's really tough to make a comparison. Personally, I think Arteta has done a wonderful job because initially I didn't think he was going to make it, but my goodness, he's came through really well, really well. Lampard took on a lot of youngsters because that's what they could do to give them the chance to keep going. I think that's all cleared, but isn't it? They're cleared now. Is that right? Chelsea are cleared now?
Yeah, there's been a few quid already, mate.
Yeah. So sooner or later, the truth's going to out, And what's going to happen is half the press up here, if not all the press up here, will say that our manager's a very poor manager, and the other two that we're speaking about would be absolute stars. But our manager would be a very poor manager, and it's just you can't make the comparison. You just can't do it.
When they're finished with Alfie, that'll be their next job, mate.
100%.
You can see it a mile away with the agendas. Stardog then JFK.
It's kind of hard, Oxford, to compare the three managers, but in terms of winning things, for Arteta to walk in there to an Arsenal team that had been struggling and pick up a trophy, mate, within 6 months is absolutely phenomenal, mate. I was kind of hoping Chelsea were going to win it, but absolutely no disappointment at all to see Arteta pick up a trophy. As you touched on, Lampard bringing the young boys through, mate. A lot of them had worked away at Derby as well. Without being able to sign players, the transfer embargo and that to get Champions League spots. It's a great achievement down there, mate, really, as we look at the teams they're competing against every week and the money that's been spent running about them. So that's a great achievement. Gerrard's been phenomenal for me, mate. I think he suits us as a manager. If you were to pick out the three managers, if none of them were the manager or anybody, and you said, who would you have as the Rangers manager? I'd always pick Steven Gerrard, mate, because just the heart and the drive and the determination he's got within himself, he expects nothing but the best, and that's not a knock in there too. It's just Steven Gerrard's just got the personality that suits this club for me, mate, and it's always Stevie G for me, Oxford.
All right, well said, mate. It's all about opinions. I mean, winning a trophy, I think his big result was the semi-final. JFK.
It's quite hard to well, Arteta inherited a decent team, and obviously they won the FA Cup now, but it's no a comparison I make. Chelsea, I know. I mean, he inherited. I mean, they're not teams of millionaires in big international countries now. So going on the basis of where Rangers are, I mean, I my blue colour specs on and always pick Stevie G, but I think if you look at down there compared to up here, you would obviously say that the money spent down there and the type of player they've got, especially the boy Aubameyang that scored the two goals in the cup final. So I would probably say that Stevie G would be in par with him. I wouldn't say he was ahead, guys. I'm being honest about that. I would say that probably in par. Obviously, with a choice of what three I would have as manager, obviously I'll take Stevie G, but that's because he's there. But it'd been interesting to see if Arteta had been available if we'd have waited for him. But I don't think that'll ever happen now because he's cemented there now. But for me, I wouldn't go to say that Stevie G and Wine are the best out of the three. I would say he's probably on par with him, mate, if I'm honest.
England Bear in the lobby put another slant at saying, could they do the same job up here under the same conditions as Gerrard? I mean, I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you look at the manager across the city, mate, inherited a good squad, plenty of money to spend. What a difference it's made to him compared to he was a failure at Hibs, a failure at Bolton. So it does make a big difference when you've got a good selection of players to start off with and money to spend.
Of course.
That's why I brought his personality in that into it, mate, because I think suits us as a club. I really, really do.
I can see where you're coming from, folks, in that aspect. But I mean, in my opinion, I would say it's a 50-50. I know what you're saying about if you brought any of the managers up and how would they fare with it up in Scottish football and all that. Well, time will tell if that ever happens, which I doubt it. But I mean, I'm not trying to down what you say, but I'll be quite honest with you. I mean, my jury's still out with me a lot of the things that's going to be happening at the end of the season regarding bringing in players which are worthy of wearing a Rangers jersey. So I would say still I'm 50-50 on that, mate. I wouldn't say one was better than the other. I would say they're all about the same.
Fair comment.
Fox, can I come on that one?
Aye, on you, Gary.
It's just that this is what makes me a bit nervous. Is see all the good work we're building up to now with the manager. It's just as I made the point the other night. I mean, obviously we want to win the league and stuff like that, but I just feel as though we are in a good place, and I just think it would be silly to tear it all up and start again. I think I would rather stick with him and just keep progressing in the sense of building Rangers up. I know we need, in the way our league is and stuff like that, you need to be successful and stuff like that. But the budget the man's on, and I know we're on a bigger budget than most teams in the league, but it's just we are competing against a team that's been together for 10 years near enough, and they've been spending Champions League money constantly, and we've not had that yet. And I just, we're talking about Arteta and stuff like that. Like, they're walking into teams and they're gain a budget. I mean, or they've got a team that's worth millions. And I just think the journey that he's been on, it would just be. I just honestly think it would be the wrong decision to go and tear it up and bring in a new guy and then having to spend more money. I just think he's got to keep progressing and finding players that will suit the team, and eventually I do believe we will get there. It's just, I just don't want us to jump the gun and just because it's what the Scottish press want or what the fans demand. I think we're just in a total different time for our 9 in a row, and I just think we need to keep the heat and keep working away with this guy until such time that he decides that he needs to go.
I think it's important we get silverware, hopefully the league, but I think it is really important. I get GFK's part of GFK's point, but I want to ask Bridge this. We want to maybe tweak our team rather than build a team when we started. Bridge, man, I want to, has he just if for new centre half and first impressions improves our team by 5%, that's a big thing for us, isn't it? Bridgeman? Or JFK?
Sorry, mate, what did you say there?
If we brought in a new centre half and on first impressions, it looks as if we've maybe improved our team by 5%, just using it going in Saturday's performance. I know it's only one game.
Well, that's what I said when I come on at the start of the show. I think what he's brought to the centre defence is what we're looking for. And as we said there, I mean, we're looking for Tavernier to come onto his game again. And I think we're rock solid at the back, mate. I think he's up our game by 10%. Easy. Didn't do anything wrong, done everything nice, challenging for the ball, on his feet, passing. And the one when he was knocked into the back of the net with McKenna, he showed he was brave. So for me, it'll do for me, mate. I look forward to him signing another contract next season because he's only on a 1-year contract. But I would like to see him at Irish for a few years, mate, 3 or 4 years anyway. I think he's a cracking player. And that's not going overboard. It was about one of the best debuts I've seen a Rangers player in a long time.
What it means is, all I'm saying now is go to Fox with us. We're just trying to build with a couple of percent now. Because of where we've been, where we're caught, and maybe it's still tweaks.
Aye, I'd agree 100%. The thing is, for me, these 2 signings probably that we're bringing in have to make a big difference to our squad. When you look at our first team that played on Saturday, McGregor cost us nothing, Balogun nothing, Tavernier a couple of 100,000, Goldson was a few million. Barisic, can't remember what we paid for him. 2 million, was it?
Somewhere.
Ryan Jack, free. Kamara, free. Joe Aribo, couple of 100,000. Hadji, we've just paid there. Couple of million for him. Morelos, 1 million. And Ryan Kent, the top one at 7 million. This, the market we're in, Oaks, there's going to be a lot of hit and miss at £2 to £3 million. You're not exactly dealing in superstars. And a lot of people are saying that some of our buys haven't worked out, like your Jordan Jones and that, but it's a gamble in the market we're at.
Again, but to be fair, he was free, wasn't he?
Aye, but
He was free.
it is a gamble when you're dealing in such small numbers in the transfer market in world football now. And I'm hoping that he is going for quality rather than just squad fillers, and we have to pay maybe 2 to 3 to 4 million for each signing. But if it adds that bit of quality and turns us into a championship team, it'll be well worth it.
I think your point's right. It's tweaking now. And also,
Here,
when you look what you spent, it's not a lot. Bridgeman.
Yeah, I can't disagree with what you've said so far. Apologies that my thing got pulled out there a minute ago. I agree. It's tweaking here and tweaking there. And I think JFK said we're looking for Mr. Tavernier to kick in again with his form, get his form back up. And Mr. Morelos. There's not much in it, but if we can get them and get back on a wee bit of form, and then it's just squeezed for there on in, by goodness gracious, we've got a squad and a half. Because Hellander's very close to being fit again, and you've got an extra centre half in there to push for quality, for competition and all that. I think it's just great. So things are looking good for me anyway, as far as I can see. Things are looking good for the Rangers, and long may it last.
I don't know, funny enough, you mentioned Hollander there. I don't know if you picked up on it, Gary, when Big Leon got injured. It was Hollander who was warming up, no Edmondson. Unless that was just the pictures. It only shows you Hollander.
No, I noticed that. And obviously, I think everybody would be expecting that Hollander would just go straight back in. Well, not so much on that game, but obviously it was always Goldson and Hollander that had that run right up to the cup final last year. So, and they were playing great together. But I think JFK said a couple of times, and where I agree with him, is that that game against Livingston and stuff like that, he looked obviously like slow getting back. Whereas I felt for the first time in a long time on Saturday that the defence seemed to be all together as one unit. The only thing is about Tavernier as well. I don't know if the manager's telling him, but sometimes Tavernier was up at the box and it was Kamara that was having to cover for him all the way back. And he's like miles out of position. So I just don't know if that's a tactic or if it's sometimes that Tav's just leaving the back door open. But if that's going to be the defence going forward, then I'll be pretty happy with that. And it's good to have obviously a good backup like Hollander.
Stardog?
Aye, just back up what everybody said there, mate. You touched on it in Saturday, Oxstairs. Maybe it's just a case of the boy Edmondson just learning his trade. In a game like that, opener up at Pittodrie, you're not going to take any chances, mate. That Balogun's just as much fit, if not fitter than anybody else in the squad now, just after back a season with Wigan. So, you're going to play that boy. Portby had mentioned it earlier in the week. He thought it was going to happen. Fox still the inclination it was going to happen. I definitely think, mate, he's gave us something different to the team, mate. We look more solid at the back just with him in there on that one game. But to touch on what Fox was saying about the signings and that, if you take Alfredo Morelos out of the team, Aribo, Ryan Kent and Borna Barisic, mate, are all three best players for me. And they were all Gerrard signings, and I know Barisic's taking a bit of time to settle in, but he got it right with these players, mate, and they're the three best players in our team now, apart from Alfredo Morelos for me. So he is getting it right, he is bringing the right players in, and I know folk will say Grezda and laugh at it and that, but let's not make any mistake, mate. He's not had these boys anywhere near the squad. When they've not showed up, that's that. He's get rid of them straight away. So he's not kept them there. He's get rid of folk that haven't done the job for him. And that's all you can ask for your manager, mate. He expects the best out of his players. And he's starting to get there. He's got a solid core. And like everybody said and agreed on here, it's just about getting the quality in now, mate. They've got to make a difference in the first 11, whoever's coming in.
Well, see, that's a fair comment. Look, if he's signing a third striker, Lafferty fitted the bill. If you think about it, experience, internationalist, he knows the club. I think he cost peanuts. So he's just got his wages, took a punt on him, didn't work. Grisder, he thought he was getting something quite quickly. Didn't fancy him half the part. Jordan Jones, I don't know how much of that's half the part. Doesn't fancy him.
I wasn't settled, sent him back down the road straight away.
Aye.
You know?
What I'm reading, somebody's potentially coming in with £500,000. If we get £500,000 for Jordan Jones and get him off the books, if he's not going to play for us, great fix for us. Fox, when Gerrard came in the door, we had nothing on our balance sheet in the playing side. We've got a few quid.
Aye, we have that indeed. I think it's allotted for some of the players anyway. It's their performances in Europe that's helped up their money in the transfer market. I think Barisic would probably be worth in the 10 to 15 million pound area. So that's a good improvement for the millions that we paid for him. And as you say, if you take Alfie, God, if we're getting even 15 times what we paid for him, it's really good ox, you know, I think so. Plus, who else is there? Katic's a young centre half.
Aribo.
Aribo, if he keeps improving the way he is, will be a hotly sought after talent, mate. People that can run with the ball and beat people are worth their weight in gold in football, and he's got that in bags.
Aye, all right. Gary.
Aye, like we've got a team there before it was worth nothing. You know what I mean? And now we've brought in profit. You know what I mean? Worst case scenario, we're always going to be able to reinvest that money back into the team. So even if Adeo's a good player, and the manager said, I think he said in a press conference that it's him that makes the decisions. It'll be him that will choose whether Alfredo leaves or Disney leave or whatever. Obviously going on price, but it seems as though he's got the choice to reinvest that money, which is good because that tells us that he's not controlled and he's not got to get annoyed when he can't go in and buy the players he wants. You know, like you say, I just hope that if we do get any money or we are going to buy players, you're right that he needs to invest in 2 quality players, or if it's only got to be one, then it's got to be a good 1 quality player to totally improve the team to get us there the line.
JFK.
Well, obviously the 2 players that have been mentioned is Zunga and Maric, and I mean I'd love to have the 2 of them. Obviously, I was with Maric playing alongside Alfredo. I've said before, I still feel that Jermaine Defoe is a number 3 for me. I know Fox might disagree in that, but I think that as a backup striker, I don't think he's what we need. On the Lyndon Dykes thing, I think that's cooled in me. I watched him the other night there and I just thought, my God, he is rubbish. So I'll take back everything I said about Lyndon Dykes. And the guy that you spoke about, Oxshire, is Shankland. No, for me either. No saying you said have him. You'd spoke about him before. But the manager's going to be getting more money. We know that, and I think he's biding his time. He's making sure he gets the right players in. Are we holding out to see what we get for Alfredo? I don't think we are, because I think there's money there to spend. And let's hope that things happen quite quickly. I have heard that there's possibly going to be the announcement's going to be on Thursday morning about a player, probably maybe 2. So whether that comes to fruition, I don't know. But I'm happy what's happening in New York.
Can I see it, mate? Manager, not everybody will be in jet away.
Well, Nobody makes the announcements now apart from they're doing it on Zoom and things like that. It's a world we live in just now.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. But hey, whoever he buys in, I think will enhance the team. It's got to enhance it, Oxshire. It's got to take, as you say, it's got to take us up a few percent.
And this is the trouble, because when you're tweeting and you're looking for 5% improvement, you're going, right, he's good, but he's just slightly better.
Yeah.
And the guy who's good might be a fan's favourite. And this is a hard thing, that's what you've got to do in management, because you're always going to evolve.
Definitely. I mean, any money that he brings in for saving ways, like you're talking about Jordan Jones, seemingly Middlesbrough, that was his first club, that's where he started for. And Blackburn Rovers are interested in him. So if he gets him off the books and gets another wage in, and that'd be good. And there'll probably be others to follow. I would say Greg Docherty will probably go, and McCrory. And that would probably bring in other money. But we need to. But we've got 68 days, I think it is, for the transfer window. But we're only what 9-10 games away from playing the puddle drinkers, and I want to be winning like yourselves every single game up until that point. And to do that, I think we need another couple of players, especially another striker with Alfredo in the team, mate. I want Alfredo to stay there and win the league with Stevie G. I think he owes Stevie G that in a way. He stood by him, and I think that if he stays, he'll if he goes at the end of the season, he'll go with your best wishes because he's helped us do what we all want it to do.
Here. Well,
I think we need to have a cut-off point for Morelos, and what I mean by that is, say up to 3 weeks before the end of the window. If he doesn't go before then, Rangers need to say he's not available.
Yeah.
Until the January transfer window, because it doesn't give us much time to use or spend the money we could earn on him. I hope he stays. I'd like to see another striker come in and Alfie's position taken by him, and I'd rather see Alfie playing the attacking midfield role or the second striker, because I think he'd be sensational there.
There's a big improvement just on the Morelos thing. There's a big improvement in the Rob Hoyt came in when Coutinho was the manager. What's that? Was it 4 years ago now, is it? 3 years ago? 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Coutinho came in, the big.
The way he's progressed as a football player, he didn't have the all-round view of a football part. Now he's picking out 40-yard passes, wee short passes, the through ball to Kent. He was just stuck up front to fire balls at the goal. I think he's improved an awful lot in the last year, mate.
The 1-2 way, well, I know it's a friendly against Coventry. Don't know if he could have done that when they came in the door.
Do you think the game against Coventry where he played deep was a trial run for the Aberdeen game, mate?
Looks that way now, Fox.
Yeah.
Looks that way now, because that boy McKenna, that £100 million centre-back, didn't know what he did he?
No. Well, it shows you he's maybe improving in the tactics side, Stephen Gerrard. Maybe he is learning some lessons for last year, and I hope he keeps up with the improvement.
Stardog?
Sorry, mate, I couldn't get off a mute there. 100% back up what Jimmy and Fox is saying. I'd love to see him stay. Way another striker coming in. I like the look of the boy Marriage, but that's only YouTube clips all share. But we're stronger with him, mate. It's not the right time, and 100% back up what Fox is saying. There has to be a cut-off point, but instead of saying January, I would just be saying he's not available for the summer. Half a season, mate, it's not good enough. We need him for a full season. But I'm 100% behind Alfredo this year. I love him. I want him to stay. Another season at least, mate. We need him.
Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Can I just thank Gary, who comes on regular, but it's always great to hear from him. James for Tennessee, Wheels, and of course the Bridge, who's away to get a cup of tea. I think he's playing hardball with us, Fox, with his contract, but we'll see. Can also thank Fox.
Can I just say that there was contact made for his signature, but I told him he was injured, mate.
All right, okay. There was, can I thank Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, JFK, Stardog, and of course Fox for joining on the panel. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11 talking about all things Rangers. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the starry capes and I've heard the 44. I've flying the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. But never see back home in Scotland more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. It's the biggest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, blue, blue sea of my God. And it's not on the really just there asleep. No more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. At 3 o'clock each Saturday I'll join the mighty throng. With flags and banners